Hi, I'm Shante Collier, licensed Illinois real estate broker with Shante Collier Real Estate of Exit Strategy Realty. I want to talk a little bit about down payment assistance programs, so DPAs. And a lot of my clients, buyer clients, always ask, how can I qualify for the down payment assistance? And then some people don't even know about it. But I always push that, that's something I always, I'm a really big advocate for down payment assistance programs because it's going to save my client a lot of money. And this is how. So basically they're state funded programs. IDA is definitely one of them. And they've recently changed it where they have, how can I explain it? So there was one particular like down payment assistance program that people could qualify for. Now they have, I believe it's 3 now. And then you qualify for one or the other, depending on, if you're a first-time home buyer, if you already have a home, maybe you're trying to upgrade, downgrade, whatever it may be. But it's different ones you can qualify for. Normally, what the lender, see, the realtor has nothing to do with the down payment assistance programs. We can, explain them to you a little bit, but it's usually, I usually will refer, tell my buyer to go to their lender to make sure that number one, they offer it, and then number two, they qualify for it. Usually with credit unions do not offer down payment assistance programs. They may be able to give a little money, to help toward closing costs and things like that, but that's totally different from your down payment assistance programs. So I always tell my buyer to, number one, make sure the financial institution that they're going to work with, whoever's going to give them that pre-approval for the mortgage, number one, they offer the down payment assistance programs, and number two, do they qualify? I've actually had buyers to qualify and then not to qualify. It goes based on income. So if you make too much money, you will not qualify. I said too much money. See, you're probably used to hearing if you don't make enough money, but in this instance, they're helping you out. So in order to receive the assistance, you have to show a need for it. So you have to qualify by income, not making too much money based upon your household size. You also have to have a certain credit score. Usually they're looking for, I believe it's a 640. To qualify for the down payment assistance programs, not to just be pre-approved, but to qualify for the DPA. Then you have to purchase within a certain county. Usually, like in Illinois, it's usually like Cook County. DuPage County has their own down payment assistance programs, but usually it's within Cook County. And then the property actually has to qualify as well. It's 4 things. So the property has to qualify, meaning that it has to be, you have to, number one, you're going to have to own or occupy it. So you actually have to live in the property. And then it can't be commercial property. It has to be residential property. So if it's a multi-unit building, that's fine. But once you exceed so many units, it's considered commercial property. And I don't want to get into that for another video, but it has to be residential property only, whether it be a single family home that could include condo, townhome, or it could be a multi-unit building, and you can, you can rent it out, still be a landlord, do all that great stuff. You just have to live in it. And you'll be, like I said, you'll be able to get it. So if everything meets those 4 criterias, you should be able to get it. I won't say you will be able to, but you should be able to qualify for your down payment assistance programs, that whatever the financial institution is offering. So for example, the down payment assistance money can either go toward just your down payment or the down payment and or closing costs. Buyers that I've had to qualify for the DPA was actually fortunate enough to actually get money back at closing. So just to give you a little insight, if you don't know what the process is when you purchase a home. So me as the realtor, or you come to me as the realtor, you have a pre-approval. Maybe you don't have a pre-approval in the beginning, but then if not, we'll kind of, I'll talk to you about getting your pre-approval, because there's no sense in actually going to look for a property if we don't know how much you can actually afford. Why look at a $250,000 property if the lender is only going to approve you for $175,000? So we've just wasted all that time looking at properties that you have not qualified to purchase. So that's why I always suggest to buyers, always see what you're going to be pre-approved for first, and then we'll go out and then we can, I can select properties and help you select properties that is going to be within your purchasing power. I would rather, position everything so we won't have any hiccups, when we start, doing the house hunting part. So me as the realtor, I see you, you get your pre-approval letter. I get proof of your pre-approval letter. I take you to see homes after I've sent you some homes. You've selected some. I'll take you to see them. From that point, if you see something that you love, you want to put in an offer, I write up the contract. You sign your end. I take your pre-approval letter and your signed contract, and I send it over to the seller's agent, not to the seller. I don't have access directly to the seller. I have access to the seller's agent. So that's who your contract and your pre-approval letter will go to. So it's going to go to the seller's agent. The seller's agent will then share that information with their client, who's the seller. They have the option to accept your offer. They can counter your offer. There may even be other offers on the table, and they may say, hey, this is a multiple offer situation, meaning that there's a lot of other people that have submitted offers. So then they'll ask, hey, send your highest and best offer. Hopefully we don't have to go through a bidding war. So if all goes well, let's say there may be a counter, then we might counter back or we might accept the counter. It's totally up to you as the buyer. But if not, and it goes extremely well, they accept the offer. Somewhere in the contract, I've negotiated for you to get closing cost credits. So that will be additional money to help go towards your closing costs that the seller is actually going to provide to you. And there's actually going to be a little, some other monies that's going to go toward that as well. But that's also for another video. So I don't want to get into that too much and get you all confused. So basically what happens, so the contract is, is rolling, everything is, going along. You get to the point where you're getting ready to close. So now a lot of things has happened in between. Your attorney have done some stuff. You've got a home inspection, an appraisal has happened. So a lot of things have happened in between time, but in a very short time, because banks usually try to close you within about 45 days. So that's a month and a half. So a lot happens within that first, I would say 30 days, a lot happens. So everything is moving quickly. So basically you get to the closing table and your lender, well, actually before you get to the closing table, your lender or attorney would have told you what you need to bring to closing as far as money goes. So you'll have to bring cashier's check, or you can bring a money order, but it has to be something that's equal to cash without it being cash. So it can't be cash. So basically, whatever your closing cost credits is going to be, for example, let's say you're buying a $250,000 home and I've negotiated, let's say $4,000 for you to get from the seller to be applied toward your closing costs. So that, along with some other little credits that you're going to get, maybe even the financial institution may offer something as well. And then you have your down payment assistance. That may be, let's just, for example purposes, $7,500. Now, in the beginning, you would have given earnest money. And the earnest money is just something you give in good faith, saying that, hey, I'm serious about buying this home. I love it. I'm going to get it. I'm not trying to pull your leg. Normally, I'll have my buyer do about $1,000. However, when it comes to the down payment assistance programs, you have to do at least 1% of that has to be your money. So what I'll do, if the buyer is approved and they're going to be using the down payment assistance programs, I will do whatever 1% is of the purchase price. So if it's $250,000, we're looking at about $2,500. So real life example, I actually had a client in that situation where the house was about $250,000 and she did 1%. But because of all the credits that I negotiated, the down payment assistance that she received, along with some other seller credits, she was actually able to walk away with a check from the closing table. I don't remember how much it was, but she actually got a check back for the earnest money that she put up, like I said, $2,500. She didn't even need all of it, so she was actually able to get a check back. I've known people to go to the closing table and get their entire amount of earnest money back, and it was about $1,000. But each situation is unique, so don't just expect to go to the closing table and get money back. You may actually have to bring money. I've actually seen some of my buyers actually have to, submit money. They were not getting any money back. So it just depends. Everybody, like I said, everybody is not getting down payment assistance for one reason or another. Definitely talk to the lender about it to see, if you can be approved for it, and if not, what can you do? Sometimes debt to income ratio may disqualify you. So a lot of different things. But your lender can definitely talk to you a little bit more about it. But my video is just basically to tell you that it is available to you. A lot of people are worried that they do not have the funds to purchase a home. And no, people may not have $10, $15, $20, $30,000 just sitting off to the side in reserve to purchase a home, but there are the first-time home buyer, or I should say home buyer down payment assistance programs that can actually help you to purchase your home. So I would love to schedule a consultation with you if you have more questions. You can retrieve my contact information by texting my first name, which is spelled SHAWNTA, to 85377. So text Shantae to 85377. You will receive a link, and that link will lead you to download my contact information, which is my mobile business card. So I hope to speak to you soon, and have a wonderful day.